What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. XDefiant is finally here. And unfortunately, it launched with a little bit of a fizzle instead of a massive bang. We hit a massive roadblock right out the gate. As I talked about yesterday, when the game released, it was unplayable. You couldn't connect to a match. You kept getting kicked out of the matchmaking process. But slowly but surely, the servers started to defry themselves, and players were able to access the game. And once you were able to access the game, you were welcomed into the world of XDefiant that we had all hoped for, that we'd all been waiting for. Long were the times of the desync and the constant inconsistencies of the servers. What I was met with was consistent experience after consistent experience. Now, maybe my sample size is smaller than yours. I've only played maybe 10, 12 games total as of right now recording this video. But in every single game, it felt as if I had full control over my character. I had full control over where my shots were going, and if I was missing shots, it was more so on me than the server. Long gone were the days of the beta where I was dying around corners and there was a bunch of desync happening, and the game seemed to function as intended, which is exactly what I was hoping for. This is exactly what we needed. When I talked about what's going to make it or break it for XDefiant, I talked about the server response. I talked about how this game needed to launch in as finished of a state as possible. And while yes, we didn't start off on the right foot, and the game was unplayable for a few hours yesterday, what we have today, at least in my experience and the experience of some of you over on Twitter and across social media, is a game that feels enhanced. It feels like the perfect moments of the beta or the server test sessions where everything was working, everything was clicking, and it's that experience that we've been waiting for. That's what XDefiant is. And it's showing itself here early on in its life cycle to be the game that so many of us have been waiting for. The game that we've been hoping for. Because we don't get it with modern day Call of Duty. We don't get it with other shooters in the genre. This is that classic arcade 6v6 shooter we've been waiting for. And what I loved about launch day so far is the fact that players are trying different things out. You're not seeing everybody just moving towards the meta. Not everyone's using M4s. Not everyone's using the MP5. They unlock a new weapon, they try it out. It feels very reminiscent of the early days of Call of Duty when somebody would get a new game and they'd be trying out the newest weapons, instead of finding out what the meta is and just following it. Hey, what's the best gun I can use during early ranks? That's not what everyone's doing here. And part of that, of course, is how the matchmaking is being done here in XDefiant. But part of that is also the fact that this community wants to experience variety. And that's what you notice right away when you hop into XDefiant, is the variety is there. Yes, you have some close matches. Yes, you have some blowout matches. But overall, the experience is varied. And that's what we've been waiting for. You're going to have good games, you're going to have bad games, you're going to have games where you want to smash your controller. But that's what gaming is at the end of the day. It's supposed to invoke emotion. And the main emotion it shouldn't invoke is frustration. Now, of course, yes, the start of this game's life cycle, very frustrating. For me, for you, for everyone. Right? We couldn't access the game. But once you got into the experience, once you got to play the game, and you slowly started to see what this game was reminiscent of, it all came together. Because leveling up, completing challenges, working on unlocking some new weapons, well, it's super familiar and we know it exists in other games. It was fresh here. It was a little different and it felt a little bit more rewarding. I don't know why, but that challenge tracker that pops up every single time you're doing something that contributes to a challenge. I mean, crazy concept that a challenge tracker actually works. Call of Duty takes some notes. Was satisfying. I'm not used to that, but in this game, it feels satisfying. It feels rewarding, and we're on the first day. A first day that had its ups and downs, but ultimately, it showed all the potential that we've been waiting for. Now, it's still up to Ubisoft to deliver on all this potential. It's still up to Ubisoft to fully be able to realize all of this. But this is what we were waiting for. These were the questions that we needed to be answered. Were the servers stable enough to launch? And I think, for me at least, and for most of you that I've been reading on social media, the answer is yes. Of course, a little blip at the start, but once you were able to get into the game, those problems that showed up during both the server test sessions and the beta seem to not be there at all or as prevalent. And that to me is how you're going to reach a larger audience. That to me is how you're going to create a real buzz around this game. The talk today is the failure of the launch. The talk tomorrow and moving forward could be extremely positive, could be about everything that this game has to offer, because there's a lot there. And we've only just scratched the surface. Remember, we're in like a pre-launch state at the moment because Season 1 isn't here yet. The training session isn't available yet. We're not even in ranked play yet. All of this is still in sort of a test mode. And as time goes on, as issues get ironed out, as they continue to work behind the scenes to get this game up to its optimal level, we're only going to see improvements. And right now, in probably its most basic state we'll ever see it in, man, does the game perform well. And with all of that being said, do yourself a favor, hop into XDefiant. Do yourself a favor and check out what could be the next big thing in gaming. I'm not guaranteeing it. I'm not saying it's going to be the massive hit that some of us want it to be. But I do feel as if it's going to bring you back to a time of simplicity, a time of the gameplay being the focus, not all the buzz and the noise around it. Just simplistic, enjoyable gameplay, gun on gun, a little bit of variety mixed in with map design, game modes, and of course, faction abilities that just create enough of a diversity within the gameplay for every single game to feel fresh, new, and inviting. And of course, the biggest note, no skill-based matchmaking, which I will say is extremely noticeable from the get-go. People have been detracting against skill-based matchmaking. I'll tell you right now, I want to play more of this. I want to engage more with this game because there's no skill-based matchmaking, because I'm not being punished for doing well. I can both be challenged but also relaxed at times because it doesn't feel like I have to go balls to the wall every 2 seconds of every single game. And that's what's nice. That change is what this franchise needs to continue to lean into if it wants to succeed over some of its competitors. So yeah, all in all, XDefiant is an awesome game. We had a very disappointing start to its life cycle. Hopefully something that we can put in the rear view mirror and not really talk about again for quite some time. Because if you're anything like me, I don't care about how a game starts necessarily. It's how it continues to progress throughout its life cycle. So hopefully something was learned that we don't go down this path again in the next couple weeks, in the next month, as new updates roll out. This is something to learn from, to grow from, and to never allow happen again. So hopefully you are like me and you're willing to give XDefiant a chance and a fair shot to be the shooter that you need in your life. Hopefully you're not disappointed. Now I want to open up the comments down below to some discussion regarding this game. What is it that you've enjoyed most so far about XDefiant throughout its very short lifespan right now? For me, it has to be the fact that the guns just feel so responsive in this game. I am enjoying it so much. But I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your thoughts regarding XDefiant right now. So let me know with a comment down below. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, and I'll be covering a lot of things surrounding XDefiant, talking about this game endlessly throughout its launch week and beyond, please hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys next time. Good night, goodbye, and enjoy playing this brand new experience. Thank you and goodbye.